Hi there, Frank here for premium members for the trading day of January the 24th, 2025, a Friday. Our charts look beautiful. Let's start with the ES as usual, the indexes, but also a quick look at our Market Scanner Pro. You see the green, you know what's happening. You see all the hot zones, which are potential important clues as to good long trades. The whole market, several asset classes are quite bullish. Look at the signals. As we speak, there are signals on the 4-hour chart on several markets. There's money on the table. What we do with it is really up to us here. All right, so, well, what we have to do is basically follow our methodology. So let's start with the indexes, and we need to stay humble even in good times or bad. Here we go. So what we said that we're most likely going to retest the previous high, the last major pivot, which is what we are doing now. Now, the 4 indexes are not in, all of them are in the same stage. After this level is tested, probably, remember, most likely tomorrow there will be targets sitting there, right? So stop orders. And we can expect a pullback being formed here by the natural behavior of the market. So I think it makes sense to take profits, then wait, and perhaps Monday, Tuesday, we can think about a breakout trade. That's how it works. NQ, aiming at the next pivot, a little bit lagging behind ES, but that just gives us an opportunity to keep an eye on this breakout level. And you see, on this chart, on the daily, on the 4-hour chart, we already have the long signals. So if you're algorithmic, you're probably already long. If you're watching a shorter, smaller chart, then it's up to you. You can use these areas to go long. Just give it a little space because price always comes back and retests, just tests for stops. You see, the market doesn't want naive stops to be sitting here. Always grabs the stop. So don't put your stop too close to the action. Give it some space, in other words, and then you can stay in the trade and aim for the previous pivot. Here is the YM. Beautiful breakout trade. You see horizontal consolidation. Breakout areas are not always sloping. That's perfectly fine. Momentum is expected to continue, but not in a straight line. Remember, same rule applies. Give it some space if you trade this market, but is expected to continue to 45,500. And RTY gives us an opportunity for tomorrow because it's a little bit lagging. The market that has the longest distance, you see, to go. And technically, the 4-hour has already triggered, or maybe you want to target or use this area here for the trigger as marked up on the 4-hour chart. Or maybe you just don't care about the details and you're long already based on the 15-minute chart. You see, it's the same job. No need to worry too much about the details. It makes sense to be long on this market, and we can also use this breakout area, the top of this candle on the daily chart, to enter long. Now, if you do use this area to enter long, then I think your stop should be minimum below this candle. That's just how the market works. All right, let's move on to metals. And I'll keep to the point here. This is very similar. This is very easy. We are long in a 1-hour trade, a potential 1-hour trade at the moment. Right now, about maybe 0.7 or something. And the target is the previous pivot on the daily. Eventually, I expect this to test 3,000 and perhaps more. But right now, this trade, I'm planning to end it at the previous pivot, which is around 2,800. Okay, and silver, platinum is doing the same thing. So let's finish platinum. You see, this is a 0.8 or 9. Good trade. You can keep a runner if you're in this trade and target the upper counter on the daily. And SI hasn't moved yet, so it really makes sense to look at SI. It has turned. It doesn't look quite obvious, but remember, we trade correlation. And what is happening on GC and PL is giving us a clue to take these 1, 2, 3 green candles seriously. and also, of course, the weekly and the daily structure. Probably as a first move, we're going to test this area 33 something. You can do this with SLV if SI is too big. And let's see what else is here. MBT, worth being long, no news there. So this video, although I'm rambling a little bit, but it's almost exactly the same as what I said yesterday, so there's no change here. This MBT is expected to move to the upside. BTC, whatever format, ETF, several ETF, Bitcoin ETFs on the market, both in Canada and the States, so there's lots of choices here to trade Bitcoin successfully. Okay, and finally, we were looking at wheat a couple of days ago, expecting a bull flag. Well, that bull flag is or has formed, and now we're waiting for price action to break out to the upside from here. I did mention yesterday that I don't like these big red candles inside the pullback area, the consolidation area. As a general rule, I usually avoid pullbacks like this. And we have other things to do on the indexes, of course, but if you still have capital to deploy, then keep an eye on this, because I think if this triggers on the 4-hour, something like this, then this is a viable 1-hour trade. All right, so a very late overview and plan for Friday. I hope you're watching the markets and making the best of it. Also, visit our Discord channel. Quite a few masterful traders in the community, REMEC traders, are doing just that, trading well. So it's worth checking them out and learning from them. Thank you very much. We'll be back in the morning, and until then, mindful trading.